channel. In today's video we're going to be making a custom interior on my MX5. Here's a quick tip if you're ever trying to get seats out of a convertible. Chuck the roof down and it gives you a lot more space to get the seats out without scratching. Can I help you? And this is where we're going to be starting, with the seats. I do have a plan for these, so what I'll do, I'll fill you in with some tape. For materials, I'm going to be using this lovely Clark tartan. It's going to be on the insert. This stripe going up the middle here. It's going to be roughly about a 10cm stripe, and on each side there's going to be a red detailed stitch going all the way down. And for the sides here, I'm going to be using Alcantara. This is a very expensive and premium material, so I really don't want to be making any mistakes, but I'm sure we'll get through it just fine. On the sides here and on the sides, I'm going to be using a black vinyl with a red double stitch going all the way across. And I'm going to be taking you guys along the way with me, showing you every step and how it's done. So the only thing left to do is to start getting into it and stripping the seats. The first step I'm going to be starting with is separating the cushions and the squabs from each other by removing these plastics and getting to the screws underneath them. I'll show you how that's done. We're invited, the night in. Welcome, my heart's so full, I'm devoted myself to the night, there's no motive. We're just listening, we're existing. If you're playing along from home, I'm going to give you a cheeky little tip. What my plan is to strip one of these seats and use one of these seats as a template. If I keep one of them together, I can use that as a reference. So for example, if something doesn't quite fit, I can look at this one that's already together and see, I've stitched that too close, or it's not on properly, or I need to put more foam on one side. It's just a good way to give you a good reference. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this seat here as my template. I'm going to flip, so if you can see, the distance between here and here is different from the distance between here and here. That means that side isn't completely symmetrical to that side. So what I'm going to do is make one exactly the same and flip it and make another. And I'm going to use this seat here as my template. And this one here I'll keep together to use as a reference in case I mess up or I'm confused, or I might have left a bit of time in between since I've done these seats and I come back and I can't quite remember how something goes together. I can always look at this one here as a reference. condom wrapper. You know why it's still in the packet? Because MX5 people don't get laid. Hello, and welcome to another day. Today's goal is to get these inserts completely stitched and finished, and then the rest of the seat covers. I'm starting with these inserts so I know I've got enough material. I'm a bit nervous because I've ordered roughly the exact amount of material, no more, no less. So it's a real gamble this is going to work. So now my plan with the Alcantara is once I get this piece ready, I'll cut out a larger piece of Alcantara on each side, stitch it on, do my top stitch on each side. Once I'm ready, I'll get my final piece, put it on top, mark around, and I'll be able to cut it out. That means I don't have to worry about cutting the pieces exact now, stitching them on and feeling, oh no, the piece is a bit too short on one side or it's not completely symmetrical. That means I can get it exactly how I want it. Alcantara. That tickles my fancy. The next part, I want to get this Alcantara here to be as thick as my cloth. You can see, thickness of this is very, very thin compared to this cloth, which is quite thick. This has got a spongy backing on it. That's just to make it feel a bit nicer and add a bit of durability. So I'll be doing the same with my Alcantara just to get it to feel the same. And when I stitch it together, you can't see a huge transition of the ceramics to the non-backing stuff. So for that, I'll be using some sticky adhesive. This stuff here is made for automotive trimming and it's also many uses, but I'm going to be using it for this. And I'm just going to be brushing it on. Usually, you'd ideally want to spray this on, but I don't have a compressor and a spray gun handy, so this will have to suffice. This green looking foam that I'm gluing has a name. It's called Cerex, and I'll be gluing it on the bottom of my Alcantara so that my cloth and my Alcantara have the same kind of density, so you can't notice a transition when it's on the seat. So what I'm doing here is I'm drawing arrows on the direction of this Alcantara. Because when this Alcantara is flipped to the opposite direction, like that, it's hard to tell on camera, but it does have a different shade to the rest of it. To our eyes, this looks black and this looks more charcoal. So if I stitch them together, one side's charcoal and one side's black, it just does not look right. So what I'll do with my arrows, I'll point them all upwards to keep me in the right track so I don't accidentally flip any of my material. Now that's all my inserts cut out, it's time to stitch them together and see how this thing's going to look. So this here is my industrial sewing machine. It's a Protex. I've had this for a few months now and it's never let me down. Good thing about this machine, it's heavy duty, so it can do extremely thick material and it can do it very, very smoothly. This is an expensive machine, so I'd very highly doubt you've got one of these at home, but if you ever get the chance to pick one of these up for cheap, I recommend it. It's not just good for automotive, but camping gear, cushions, anything you can think of, this machine can do it. So this here is a magnet for stitching, and what it is you place it here, and you measure out your distance for your stitch allowance. A universal rule of thumb is 1 centimetre stitch allowance. So what we'll do, a measuring tape, measure 1 centimetre and leave it. That'll give us a constant 1 centimetre stitch allowance, so we'll never have any inconsistencies.
We're just listening, we're existing.
That's all my pieces stitched and finished. All that's left is to put on my pieces, mark them and cut them. But you can get a rough idea on what it's going to look like once it's done. I have to say I'm quite excited. It does look really nice. Not much left to do now. These are the hardest parts. All I have to do is my 2 vinyl sides here, install them and put them back in the car. But that'll have to be on a later video. We're running out of light, we don't have the time. So I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you hit that like button. If you like this content, subscribe as well.